Jennifer, you're president and founding director of Focus Driven. What does it do?
We're here to support the families of these victims of distracted driving crashes and to help educate and raise awareness and hopefully change the laws and change the culture so this doesn't have to keep happening to more families across the country.
What happened to your mother?
She was leaving her neighborhood, and at the same time at the intersection at the exit, a 20-year-old driver who was talking on a cell phone ran a red light, never seeing her car, which resulted in her death.
When you think about it, I hate to use the word insane, isn't it insane to text and drive?
It really is. When you're texting while driving, you're taking the three types of distraction, which is your visual, you're taking your eyes off the road, the manual, your hands are off the wheel, and the cognitive, which is your mind is off the task of driving. And so to think that you could do those things and still drive a 3,000-pound deadly weapon is absolutely insane. These crashes are 100% preventable and totally senseless, just like she said earlier.
Shelley Forney is founding director of Focus Driven. Jennifer is president and founding director as well. What happened to your 9-year-old daughter, Shelley?
It was 2 days before Thanksgiving. She was on her way home from school, about 3 blocks from our home. And Erica was on her bicycle, and she was just around the corner from our home. She had to pedal 15 more pedals. And she would have made it home alive.
And what happened?
Who was on a phone? A woman was on her phone, and she was on her way home, and a neighbor of ours, we didn't know her. She was lived about 2 blocks down the road. And as she was coming up the main road, her and Erica were coming towards each other, and she was finishing a phone call and drifted over into the bike lane about 9 feet and hit my daughter straight on with her SUV. And Erica flew 15 feet and hit her head off of her bicycle. We lost her 2 days later on Thanksgiving Day.
What happened to the driver?
She was sentenced to 24 months probation. And had to take a defensive driving course and write us an apology letter. And that is all.
It's hard to take. Officer Ramirez, I've read that there are indications that when you're texting while driving, you have less reaction time than a driver impaired by alcohol.
That is what I'm hearing too. There's several studies that have concluded that. Now, I can tell you from a law enforcement standpoint, when we're following somebody who's text messaging, it's about the same as looking at somebody who's driving impaired. They're speeding up, slowing down, moving side to side, and then depending on which side of their ear they hold their telephone on, they may have a visual. Yes.
Can you spot them easily, like texting? Can that be spotted easily by a highway patrolman?
You know, most experienced officers can easily spot them. They don't have to be right next to them. They can be behind them. And again, we're looking at driving behavior, at certain patterns that identify them as impaired drivers or someone who's text messaging.
Janice, do you wonder why we need a campaign for this?
We need a campaign, Larry.
But wonder why? I mean, it's insane.
I can't even believe I'm here speaking to you about it. I'm so grief-stricken for the loss of my friend and these women and your families. I'm so sorry. I'm just sorry I'm sorry the whole damn thing got invented.
You have a point. Jennifer, why do we need to, isn't it logical? Why do we need a campaign?
Well, it is very logical, but this technology really came around so fast, and we all just got addicted. We all constantly want to be connected, and everyone thinks that they can do it and everyone else can't. And so they think, I'll just do this real quick, and they don't understand that they're not just jeopardizing their own life, they're endangering the lives of every other person that's on the road. And, you know, we're losing moms, fathers, children, grandparents. You know, we're losing people we love for senseless phone calls that are not important, that can honestly wait.
Is there any indication, Officer Ramirez, that talking hands-free cell phones while driving is safer?
There's no indication of that, and one of the reasons
it should be safer.
Well, one of the reasons is because you're still not paying attention. 100% of your attention should be on what you're doing, the task at hand, driving, and this, you know, that can be construed as a distraction as well. You're not thinking about what you're doing, and if there's an incident in front of you, you may not react appropriately, and you may be involved in a collision or something of the sort.
Jennifer, does focus-driven encourage the handheld, where you can hold the steering wheel and use the earphone?
Actually, we advocate for complete cell-free driving. There are over 25 to 30 peer-reviewed studies and scientific studies that show that it's not about where your hands are, it's where your head is. Your brain doesn't have the ability to dual process and see what's in front of you and have that cell phone conversation. So you may be looking straight out the window, but your brain simply isn't processing what's right in front of it. So you don't have the ability to react to what's in front of you. And that's what happened in the case that killed my mother. That's what happened in the case that killed a young 12-year-old Joe Teeter. These people are looking straight ahead and they don't see. So handheld or hands-free, you've got to focus on your driving and just turn the phone off or put it down.
You agree with that, Janice?
I do. I certainly do.
Do you agree with it, officer?
Yes, I do.
Do you agree with it too, Shelley?
Absolutely.
Because most people think that if your hands are okay, if your hands are on the steering wheel, it's okay. You're still looking at the traffic ahead of you. You're still aware. You're on the phone. So what's the big deal? But it is a big deal to you, Shelley.
It absolutely is. You know, there's this image out there that texting is it's all about texting, that texting is the problem. And it isn't. It's a handheld device that you're using to text. And it was a phone call that took my daughter's life. So I want to reiterate that to people and beg people to give it up. There is no phone call, no text that is worth a life.